I am back after a week in Orange County, California. We went back to where we used to live before we moved to Washington, D.C., and we spent about 4 days or so in Boise, seeing some family and friends and attending a wedding. I want to thank Steve Shives for agreeing to step in as guest host for last week. I think he did a great job. If you also agree, if you appreciate him stepping in and ensuring that the car kept driving down the road, go subscribe to his channel. I'm sure he would appreciate it, and I would appreciate it very much. We're 34 days out from the election. 34. Speaking of that, we're going to be doing a live stream on election night. I'll put a link in the description below where you can go find it. Click the notify button or a reminder to be sent to you. It's going to be a good time. There will be tens of thousands of people who we can all be together and follow the election results as they come in live. It'll go on for hours. It'll be a good time. But let's talk about what is transpiring and what we can expect over the next 34 days. More and more and more and more and more and more lies from Donald Trump and JD Vance. And last night at the vice presidential debate, it struck me as so poignant and important for this election that it wasn't an after the fact thing where they complain about the fact checking, which needs to be not talked about as fact checking, but outing as lying. Like they're complaining that moderators, hey, stop pointing out that I'm lying. And this is a new and dangerous era in American politics where if you lie and get fact checked, you can cry foul. When Tim Walz is being fact checked about his misstatements about where he was in August of whatever year when Tiananmen Square happened, those are good questions. You should be held to account. You should be held. Answer. Why did you say you were there when it didn't happen until a couple months later? He says he misspoke. Okay. For me, it's not that consequential, but it's not an out of bounds question to ask. In fact, it's a necessary question. And if you're a Democrat and you're a Tim Walz supporter like I am, you should agree. You should say, absolutely, I don't want my leaders lying to me. I don't want them telling me things that are untrue. You should have the self-respect and dignity to want your leaders held accountable. I believe that. I believe that not just for Donald Trump and dipshit JD Vance. I believe that for our people as well. JD Vance does not feel like this. In fact, there was a moment when it wasn't even fact-checking him right after he said something wrong. It was Tim Walz talking, and then they come out of it, and the moderator says, well, just to get some facts on the table here, the Haitian immigrants are not illegal immigrants. They are here legally under a protected person's exception relative to immigration law. They're here, they have protected status because of the unique dangers in Haiti. And this sent JD Vance over the edge. How dare you? How dare you fact check me? Dangerous time in American politics. Watch this moment.
I agree. It should not take 7 years for an asylum claim to be done. This bill gets it done in 90 days. Then you start to make a difference in this, and you start to adhere to what we know, American principles. I don't talk about my faith a lot, but Matthew 25:40 talks about, to the least amongst us you do unto me. I think that's true of most Americans. They simply want order to it. This bill does it. It's funded. It's supported by the people who do it, and it lets us keep our dignity about how we treat other people.
Thank you, Governor. And just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status, temporary protected status.
Well, Margaret, but
thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important because
we're going to turn out of the economy. Thank you,
Margaret. The rules were that you guys weren't going to fact check, and since you're fact checking me, I think it's important to say what's actually going on.
Ultimately, what he's asking these journalists to do, these members of the free press, he's asking them to suspend their job duties. Don't report on the lies that I'm telling. Don't try to correct the record. Don't do your job. the rules were that you guys weren't going to challenge my lying. Well, he didn't say challenge my lying. He said the rules were you guys weren't going to fact check. And since you're fact checking me, and since you're challenging my lies, I think it's important to say what's actually going on. And then he went on to lie, which I'm not going to play. They're here legally, the Haitians. They're actually contributing to a community that needs the economic support. They need the laborers. They've interviewed people who own factories where these Haitian immigrants are working, and the bosses, the guy who owns the place, is thrilled. They show up for work. They're not on drugs. They do their jobs. They're eager and happy to be here. You would think a Republican would be pleased with that. But they're not. And why are they not? I think it's clear it's because of the color of their skin. It's the pigmentation, the level of melanin that they possess. That is what JD Vance and Donald Trump and the Republican Party at large, that's what they can't abide. They're not bitching about Norwegian immigrants. They're not bitching about white Canadians coming here to work. They're not worried about that. Even Donald Trump whining about the Congo. I don't even know what that is, he says. It's racism. It's white supremacy. And they expect all of us to get on board. I, for one, will not get on board with white supremacy, with racism, with the vile dehumanization of a population that is desperate for a better life, and aiding and assisting a community in need of that. Can we do a better job to support them and to funnel money in to bolster services in that community, in that municipality? Absolutely. Should we be helping out better with healthcare for all human beings who exist in this country? Yes. Should we have more education support? Yes. And if you think so too, these are all reasons to vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in the upcoming election. They are all reasons that once they get elected, to push the party, to advance, to progress. Because let me tell you, and I'll wrap with this, when Kamala Harris and Tim Walz do win with our help, with our votes, because I have an unreserved support level for these candidates. I, after they win, will be pressuring them left, pushing them to make things better for the lives of Americans, to make things better for the lives of immigrants, to make things better, easier for poor people. And I think you should too. But I can tell you who we're not going to be pushing left, who we're not going to be pushing to progress if they win: JD Vance and Donald Trump. They're going to be executing the largest mass deportation. They've talked about denaturalizing naturalized citizens, taking away citizenship, a thing they act like is so special. They sing their fucking songs, I'm proud to be an American, unless you were naturalized to be an American citizen. There's no talk about taking away Elon Musk's naturalized citizenship. He's a white guy, a rich white guy. But if you're a desperate immigrant who comes here, if you were a child brought here by your parents, they want to mass deport you. It's racism. It's white supremacy. We have a choice. 34 days. 34 days. Anyway, what do you think? I invite your participation in this conversation. 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me as always, daily@dollemore.com. I am happy to be back. I am excited for this next 34 days. It's going to be good. We have a big, bright future ahead of us, and looking forward to it. If you want to follow me on social media, I can be found at Dollemore everywhere. I'd love to see you there. And I'm going to go. It's good to be back. Be genuine. Take care of one another.